Howdy YouTube, Zipdisk here, bringing you another Transformers review. It's a pretty nice afternoon, nice and bright and sunny, so I decided, hey, why not? I'll film a couple of videos. Unfortunately, the subjects of my videos today are the Universe Scout 2-packs that were released at Wal-Mart for Thanksgiving last year. I like Scouts. I think we've been spoiled by the Scouts for Revenge of the Fallen, which are an awesome little subline. I love all the Scouts that have come out so far. In fact, I've probably bought every single one of them. Well, all the new molds. I haven't bought all the repaints. Although, I am desperately tempted to pick up that Spoons repaint of Dirt Boss and the Super Red Baron repaint of Ransack, because that's awesome. Anyway, today we're going to these Scouts, which are from the Cybertron line, supposedly. They came in these nice little 2-pack things. You can see I ripped the crap out of this one. On the back it shows pictures of them. Today we're covering, well, my first video is going to be covering the Data War 2-pack from, and it says it's from the Cybertron series. It's Clocker and Hardtop. Now, let me get this out of the way first. The original versions of these molds had nice, bright, colorful paint schemes. Cybertron was good about that. These have dull paint schemes. Why? Because they were trying to get them to match with the movie. These were originally exclusives for another store, done in the movie line style. Down to the fact that none of them actually have Decepticon symbols on them. The two that are Decepticons, they have Sector 7 symbols on them, which makes no sense. Especially since supposedly this is Cybertron. There was no Sector 7 in Cybertron. That's annoying. Why couldn't you just do re-releases of the original color schemes in these 2-packs? That way we could get the original look and feel for these characters. And have Decepticon symbols on them. There is not a single Decepticon symbol on this Decepticon anywhere, and it bothers me. Anyway, let's get started with this horrible little Decepticon. This is Hardtop. He is some sort of made-up Jeep with no roof. Or dune buggy thing. Compare him to, say, Armorhide or any of the Scout dune buggy from Revenge of the Fallen. I forget his name off the top of my head. Much better Scout dune buggy than this thing. This thing is pretty bad. Especially since the vehicle mode isn't even all that convincing. Yeah, it's got a little chair in there, but there's his head right there, that green thing. Nobody could sit there because his head would be stuck in their lap. And unless they get off on that kind of thing, no. Transformation, excessively simple. You swing his legs back like so. Swing this part out. His arms form from here. He's got two little wheels on either side. You just flip those up and back. Flip him down like this. His waist right here, you've got to clip that back and up and then twist it around so he's facing forward. Flip this panel up, flip his arms down. His arms are formed by his doors. And that's basically him in robot mode. My biggest problem with this robot mode, other than the fact that I don't like the vehicle mode, but the biggest problem is this big blank silver part. Why could you not have put a Decepticon symbol there? Please tell me? Anyone? I'm going to actually put one there myself eventually when I get a set of Decepticon labels from Repro Labels and maybe take those Sector 7 labels off of him somehow. I just don't know why, if you're trying to do an homage to Cybertron, or call these Cybertron figures because they originally were, that you would do that to them. He also comes with a gun. It's right here. It's his key gimmick. Another thing I don't like about him is that his key gimmick isn't incorporated into him, it's incorporated into his weapon. Plus, this is the key he came with. It says Sector 7, even though clearly, as you can see, it's a Decepticon mold key. Put that in, and bam. He's got his weapon, which he can hold in his hand. But it looks ridiculous because it's huge. I mean, look at that big... I mean, you can pull the key out now, and it's not needed. But still, look at that. It's supposed to be some sort of sniper rifle or something, but it's just awful. Let me read his stats for you real quick. His name's Hardtop. He's got a strength of 5, an intelligence of 6, a speed of 6, an endurance of 7, a rank of 4, a courage of 5, a fire blast of 6, and a skill of 7. He's not terrible. I mean, this isn't the worst scout I've got. No, that's probably one of the other Cybertron scouts, but he's not great. I don't really like him all that much. I mean, of course, I didn't pay full price for him. They were a 2-pack for like $8, so I'm getting what I paid for, basically. He's not terrible. I would say I like other figures in the line better, but he's not awful. Now we'll move on to his pack mate, Clocker, who is this blue car. I mean, I like the color blue fine enough. The thing is, this is an entirely unnecessary scout, because it's obviously, as you can tell, sort of a Hot Rod homage. There was already a Hot Rod homage in Cybertron with Exilion, or Exelion, or the Hot Shot, whatever you want to call him in the US. So I don't find this guy totally necessary. Also, this is a really bad version of this mold. Here's his gimmick back here. You take the Cyberplanet key, or Force Chip, whatever you want to call it. You pop it in, and those pop out, and that's where things fall apart. You see, those just pop up, but you have to fold the guns out on the sides manually to give him his guns. That's not a very good cyber gimmick, or a good key gimmick, in my opinion. I don't like it. And you just pull this whole chunk off for the transformation, because this turns into his hand weapon. Another big, clunky, giant hand weapon. Okay, with him, you go underneath and you got these panels you fold out. Unfortunately, these panels on this version are incredibly loose and always fall off. I hate that. In fact, I will be surprised if they don't fall off during the course of this review. Okay, now he's got these big old empty spaces in the back of his legs. Close his legs up to fix that. We come up top here, and basically what we've got to do is a bit of jiggery-pokery to get him open. Yes, that is a technical term. The top does not... I hate the transformation on this thing, too. It is not intuitive. It is not fun. It's just frustrating. Okay, let's take his arms out first, if I can get them out. Oh, there we go. Now the top decides to separate correctly. His arms form his seats, which is okay with me. I mean, I have no real big problem with that. And then you have to take his head up, and it folds this entire section right here out. And you take it and you fold it around, and you put it right there. And essentially, you've got Clocker in robot mode. Sort of. Now, my biggest problem with Clocker is these things on his arms. They're there as an homage to Hot Rod. You can take them off if you want, but you leave big peg holes. They're also supposedly weapons of some sort. You can swing them around. And, yeah, this is supposed to be a Hot Rod homage, but to me it looks like a half-assed Wolverine homage. Grrr! I'm the worst at what I do! And what I do is be Hot Rod. You can also take his big old gun and put it in one hand. I mean, it's got these two pegs, so you can put it on either side, but either side you put it on, it just looks horrible. Because it's this big, huge gun that's bigger than his torso, basically. And look at that gun. That is not good. I do not like this. Unfortunately, he has an Autobot symbol, so yes, he's an Autobot. But the original Cybertron version of Clocker was such a prettier mold. I mean, the colors were better. This is all dull to try to make it look more live-action movie-ish, so they could sell it as a live-action movie toy at one point. Then they went back and took the live-action version and put it in what was supposed to be a Cybertron package. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, as a final, I'm going to read the actual blurb on the package for the Data War. It says, tasked by Megatron with the disruption of Autobot communications, Hardtop tracks one of the fastest and most effective couriers employed by Optimus Prime, the super speedster Clocker. Has never been caught in the middle of a mission, but Hardtop hopes his long-range laser can put a stop to the racer's data delivery. Now for Clocker's stats, he's got a strength of 5, intelligence of 6, speed of 10, endurance of 5, rank 3, courage 9, fire blast 6, skill 8. So I guess in some ways they were actually going for a Blur homage with him in this, but it looks so much like a Hot Rod homage it doesn't make any sense to me. The one good thing about these figures, in my opinion, is that you can make them just stand there doing a Perceptor kick. Yes, the Perceptor kick. Ha! And yeah, he just sort of stands there. You can do that as long as you've got his big, huge, heavy weapon in that hand. And you can do the same with this guy, with hardtop. So they can be standing there, basically opposing each other with their kung fu's. And that's how I display them on my shelf, because it looks hilarious. Anyway, I don't recommend these two. Skip them, because frankly, they're not that great. They're not good scouts. I will probably review some good scouts later today. But I'm going to move on to the second 2-pack from Wal-Mart for Thanksgiving this year. And it's just about as disappointing. Have a good day. This has been Zipdisk.